Hey everyone, how's it going? Shuffle's back here again with another video. You guys will be super proud of me. I just recorded 2 videos in one day. I know I've been shitty at posting on YouTube, but I'm trying to do better. Um, so the last video I recorded just a couple hours ago was the LQC Goes to Guild War video. So if you guys haven't already seen that, go check it out. This one I'm going to be posting, I'm going to give a day in between for you guys to catch that one. This one we're going to be showcasing Landy. I have 2 RTA fights for you guys. It is the preseason, so you have to take that into account. We're not overly high. I mean, we actually are kind of high ranked. We're like in the top 50, but we're in Master. So everybody's still working their way back up the ladder again. But I thought these were a couple of good Landy examples for you guys now that she's buffed. I'll try and talk my way through them because I do have to mute the audio from stream. So both these were from stream. One was from 2 days ago that was against us, and the other one was from today where we were the ones who used Landy. So let's jump into the first one. The first one's going to be from today where I used her, and then we'll do the other one after. Hopefully I can do this all in one smooth take. All right, there we go. Don't mind that mouse. That was me during stream. All right, so we were trying to force use her. So we're pre-banning Flurry here. This is basically because chat was trying to tell me that she was good, and I was trying to argue. Made them all a deal. I said, listen, I'm talking about Twitch, by the way, when we're streaming. If you do want to check that out, it's twitch.tv/5fingershuffle. I always leave the link down in the description. But yeah, so I'm trying to make her work here. I made them a deal that if she wins this fight, I will give her 1 skill up. Um, and then we're going to do that over the course of the next few weeks. If she wins clutch fights or comes up clutch, we're going to give her another skill up, and we're not skilling her up otherwise. So they're kind of enjoying it. I think it's kind of a fun way to get chat involved anyway. But here we go. They've got a bunch of buffs here. They've also got a Spectre, so I'd like an AoE to go into it. They also took our LQC. Whoa, that's not good. Hmm. What are the odds we get demonetized for that? There's only like 2 seconds, right? It'll be fine. Don't tell YouTube. So we pick Landy along with an attack buff in the DN. We knew the SSB was going to get banned, so we banned the Ravi. Also, Ravi's really good into Landy, so we wanted to get her out of there. So we have our own protection for Landy, plus she's on immunity. We have anti-crit, defense buff, shield, and skill prevent, and they have a bunch of buffs. So let's see how this goes. We are faster than them, which kind of expected. My Alencia is quite fast. She's about 220-ish, a little over 220. I was gonna strip here. I'm kind of torn. I was like, well, do I want to strip? Do I want the buffs? I decided to strip because we're gonna go. They're gonna get some turns anyway before our Landy moves, so they're gonna be able to put up all their buffs. We do decent damage there to the Spectre. We put up our own anti-crit as well as our as well as our attack buff for the Landy. Keeping in mind that she's still in stealth because we have her on the new artifact. Well, the buffed artifact, Guiding Light. Just trying to figure out what's going to happen here. I try and go into him, trying to provoke him. Unfortunately, we team up into him. I was worried because I was like, well, if I skill 3, it's going to do too much damage. LQC will strip, and then he'll be able to kill. Instead, we skill 1 trying to provoke, and we get a team up, which is like 100% worse. She decides to go into our FCC for splash damage, and it doesn't really do much because she doesn't get the crit. But because we got that super unclutch team up, he is about half health now and is going to be able to go into our DN. He also burns into it because he does want the defense buff to protect him. So DN does just barely survive, but he has the defense buff upcoming, so he uses that to knock her over. And now he can go into the Spectre. And this is looking really bad. It looks like because of that team up, we are in big trouble here. He also gets the stun on our FCC. And it really just comes down to her with his basically his entire team almost at half health plus revive buff. The good news is that they have so many buffs that we do have max stacks on her, so we're able to ignore defense here. So here's the first attack. Not a ton of damage. We get like 3k across the board. But it does give our team speed buff, which is very important. It does come into play here, as you can see. She's already ahead of everybody else on the enemy team. Even though they went before us, she's going to go next in front of them all, and they still have all their buffs. We did try and defense break there, and it failed. But because of that speed buff, and because she lapped, she gets to do this again. Unfortunately, we can't burn. We don't have the souls to burn into it. But now she has extra stacks on her passive. Keep in mind at this point, she has 0 skill ups. So here is her second skill 3. This time ramping up to about 4k, getting the first Spectre kill. Unfortunately, the crowd just barely lives, but that's actually not a bad thing because he doesn't have his skill 3. He does get a team up crit there through anti-crit, which is again really bad. And then also splashes into our Landy, which is also really bad, taking her out of stealth. Thankfully, she still has speed buff, though, which is going to help us in terms of getting another turn. Again, we're going to lap because of that speed buff, and we're going to get our skill 3 off again. Well, maybe. We decide to kill him. That gets rid of the damage reduction. Unfortunately, they don't have enough buffs to give us our skill 3. So we're not at max stack, so we don't get our skill 3 back. We have to skill 1 here. Self-attack boosting ourself. Plus we still have our speed buff and we proc stealth. The stealth is big because we can't cut that LQC. Although we do get that team up, it almost lets us cut. Unfortunately, it doesn't. LQC is going to be able to skill 1 here. Does a lot of damage, 9k damage there. But we're back on our skill 3, and we now have enough souls, which means we can burn into this. We're not going to be able to do it twice in a row. That follow was during stream, but thank you, Falcon. Killing 2 of those units, we can then proceed to knock over the LQC with the second turn there. And then we can kill her, and we still have that speed buff, which means it's our turn again, and we can go into the mate again. We actually have our skill 3 again, which is kind of crazy. But now we can use this, we can just use that to kill her, and we end up getting the win. So crazy win there, relatively early in the season. Like I said, we're only up to 1699. But I thought that was a really good fight and a really good example of how important that speed buff is. Now, up next, hopefully this is all working. Up next, we have the fight with where the enemy uses her. This was again a couple days ago. I was not picking her at this point. We both pre-banned the Flurry. So this was even, you can see we're only in rank silver at this point. We just finished our placements. This is one of our first like 20 fights since preseason went live. We weren't banning the crowd because I don't know why. We weren't using Landy and we weren't banning the crowd, which is probably a bad combination. Obviously not really sure what I want to do here. But I go ahead and go with the Alencia pick. And then Cecilia, which is pretty standard for me. I like those 2 units. He then follows up with the Raz. I'm not really worried about Raz here, but then he follows up with the Landy. And the thought being here that he's going to use Landy as his highest attack unit and team up with her with the Raz over and over again, constantly boosting her attack bar and letting her generate extra turns over and over again. This is probably the best example of somebody else using her that I've found so far, and it worked really, really well. Because I know he's going with like a lot of AoEs that do like not one-shot damage but pretty good damage, I decided to go with Doris to try and defend it because she has the heal over time. That means I don't have to heal every turn. I would have gone probably Ravi here, but I decided not to go Ravi because, well, I couldn't go Ravi because my Ravi gear is actually on my Landy at this time. So that's why we didn't go Ravi. But Ravi would have been a good counter here. That's why I kind of get stuck into the Rylet. I really didn't want the Rylet there. I banned the Sage to try and get rid of the damage, and I'm hoping that Doris can carry us through that AoE damage. And he actually bans the Rylet. So all in all, I'm pretty happy with my team coming into this. We have a lot of damage. We have LQC despite no attack buff. But we have 2 defense buffs, a heal, a cleanse, immunity, provoke. We have a lot going for us here along with the strip. So I was pretty confident coming into this fight. He does have quite a fast Raz here and quite a fast Crow. Like I said, my Lency is about 223, 224. So that's like a 240-ish Raz. Nothing crazy, but fast enough to go first and put up defense buff. He does crit our LQC, which means we can cut. Um, I don't have attack buff here, and there's now defense buff, but I try and kill anyway, hoping she's squishy because we hadn't seen her yet. We do about 7k damage, which is less than half her health, so she's significantly more than that. He then goes into the Crow skill 3. Doesn't really do a whole bunch of damage. Now we have a decision to make. Do we want to go for skill 1, or do we want to try and get rid of that defense buff? I decided to go for the strip, trying to get rid of the defense buff, because she did have immunity. So I was like, well, we can't defense break her anyway. Let's just go for the damage. We get her down to about half health. Unfortunately, we don't land that strip, and not landing any strips there is a huge deal. Because we can't provoke here. It was really unfortunate to not land any strips. 2 of them were on fire units, and maybe the Crow is high res, but we wish we would have landed on that Landy there. It's a huge resist from the Landy. And here comes her first skill 3. At this point, I got defense buff up, I have heal up. She only does like 2k damage. I think I'm golden. Also, she has no health and no heal. We get a little bit chunked there by the Charlotte. But we're just going to keep working away. We got a buffed skill 1. We get 3,500 damage on her there. Again, that defense buff really doing work against us, and the immunity that from the Raz team ups, and obviously from the Crow, is going to keep us from defense breaking her. So again, we go into her, but we can't defense break. We get another 2,300. We've got her really low now. Unfortunately, she's got max stacks and is going to be able to skill 3. This is the second time now. And as you can see, she happens to be on Bloodstone because she heals up to about 75%. And now there's no defense buff, so I'm hoping we're going to be able to kill her there. Unfortunately, we only get 5k damage because we didn't quite have enough damage taken to proc our Scythe. But now's when he starts spamming the Raz skill 2 into the team up. So he gets the team up with the defense break into the Landy, boosting her attack bar here. We really have no choice. We don't want to skill 2. So we go ahead, do the skill 1. But now she's got immunity again. And my Alencia has Mind's Eye. So normally I'd be able to kill her quite easily. But the immunity from the Raz team up is going to save her life. I go ahead with the attack bar boost here. I was debating doing Alencia, but there's really no point because we know that she's got immunity. She comes back with her skill 3 again for the third time. Being able to cycle this really fast, and now she's up to about 5k damage. Again with the heals as well. and then he can go back into the Raz team up again. He gets the kill with a skill 1 that time, plus always boosting her attack bar, plus the whole team has speed buff. And he's just cycling like crazy here, and there's nothing we can do. We can never defense break her, we can't kill her. We could have tried to change targets, but there was really nobody else we could go after that was going to die relatively easily. And we knew if we could kill her, we would win. But she just in this fight particularly, she just cycles way too much, courtesy of the speed buff and the Raz there. So now he wants her to get another turn. He could have skill 2'd there, but he didn't have any souls, so he decided not to. We have our skill 3, and again we have Mind's Eye, and she's relatively low health, so I'm in the same boat I was earlier. Do you want to skill 1 into immunity and defense buff, or do you want to try and strip? I try and skill 1. We're already pretty much dead at this point. I try and skill 1 again. It doesn't work. And at this point, we're just out of firepower. And she has max stacks again, so she's going to ignore defense again. Plus the Charlotte. I don't think we actually get another turn here. Pretty sure Crow finishes this off. Yeah. Yeah, because I go to quit. So yeah, a couple great Landy showcases there. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me switch back. Not something that I wasn't really sure about her, but the more we've been using her, we've been finding ways to make her work. I'm gonna play with her a little bit more. We're gonna go through that whole game we're playing with chat and see if we end up getting her skilled up. Make sure you guys check that out if you want to come hang out on stream. We do stream almost every day. Twitch.tv/5fingershuffle. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on this video, and we'll see you guys again next time. Thanks for watching, and have a great day. Bye for now, guys.